Vander. Obviously, with the AD locked in, they guarantee themselves that combination. And now Odoamne, correction, Innaxe will be looking for a support here to join it. We've seen, I think, Lulu paired with the Aphelios a fair amount.
And we've actually seen Lulu paired with Aphelios specifically as an answer into the Ezreal Yuumi, which when you see Yuumi taken and Ezreal is an option, that's just going to be our bottom lane, Trevor. I have no doubts in my mind.
Too obvious indeed. Orianna is seeing a little bit more Orianna is seeing a little bit more play than I was sort of expecting. What do you make of her kind of, you know, appearances throughout the splits?
I mean, I think Orianna has a lot of good things going for her, right? You know, you have solid scaling option, you bring some CC to the roster. I think that is maybe one of the things that is undervalued right now when you have a lot of these enchanter supports coming in. I mean, if you want to play damage-dealing junglers or damage-dealing top laners, you need some more CC, so it helps round out compositions almost instantly, and it can do very well into pretty much any matchup here. So I think it's one of the safest blind pick mids at the moment.
One of those champions that just because of the kit is always somewhat viable. Corki will find himself in the ban list now, so Odoamne has already got that Ornn locked in for the top lane. We're going to be looking for the jungler as well as Abbedagge's mid lane pool, and that's why the Corki has now been removed. And for Rogue, what would you like to see Inspired running? You know, this is a guy that made a name for himself on Olaf and rampaging through enemy jungles. His Rek'Sai performance was impressive on day one, and obviously with the Graves, the Trundle taken out of the pool. Where do you want to see him go?
I mean, I think it could be another Rek'Sai game for him as sort of a bridge when you have a lot of scaling options around the rest of your team. I mean, I know Finn would have loved to have the Ornn to sort of back that up, but that, of course, got taken away by Schalke on the other side. So I'd expect to see Finn match top lane with another sort of tank, and that's why I think the Maokai ban does make a lot of sense to remove that as a potential option for him, because then that opens up Inspired to play something that can gank early, and the Jarvan, great from level 2 onward, and also pairs wonderfully with that Orianna.
Fits exactly what you said as well. That bridge helping out, just buy some time. Combos are the later in the game as well, and I like the idea of chucking that on top of a Lulu and Aphelios, who simply cannot get out of the Cataclysm. Once they are locked inside, if there's no flashes available, well, good luck getting outside of that one. And now Lurox will be locking in the Larssen, and I love the little hover of Kled, obviously pointing at Finn, who is still looking to lock in his champion. Abbedagge is going to be looking for a mid laner here. You've got, you know, some safety, you've got some front line. I mean, he can go poke, maybe. Seems to be the flavor of the day. Flavor of the week, really, a lot of poke.
I'm just looking at a Larssen, and I don't love it. I don't love it, people. You have a Larssen, and you don't really have lanes to play through, right? You're not going to be ganking an Ezreal Yuumi down towards the bottom side. And you say, sure, it can match the Jarvan early on, but Jarvan's going to scale way better than you into the team fights, especially with that tank build to give a frontline option towards your team here. So looking at it, I think Rogue got pretty much everything they could have asked for in this draft. You've got the super safe, super powerful Ezreal Yuumi in the bottom lane. Inspired has early game options, and Finn can impact this map with the Cannon Barrage. Yeah,
and it's not going to be that tank matchup that we have come to somewhat expect, but Gangplank is a little bit more of a regular occurrence into these tanks. Has a lot of time to scale, not really pressured by too many people in the laning phase, and Finn will be able to, you know, start to run away with this. So I think we're leaning a little bit more towards liking Rogue's draft overall.
I mean, I think I'm further than leaning right now. You know, like Aphelios super strong. Zoe, if you're playing a good Zoe, can be very powerful, but it's going to be hard to do much in this game because I think Vander's going to go for a very early Mikhail's Crucible, and then all of a sudden the sleeps don't really matter. Even before then, Gangplank's got his oranges. Jarvan can hop out of that one too. So I feel like that pick and the jungle in particular is where it's going to be lacking here for Schalke and going to make things hard for them.
And of course for Schalke, 0-2 on the week so far. They lost to SK yesterday. They lost to Vitality the day before. And you could argue that Rogue's somewhat of a stronger opponent than both of those teams. And it's a little sad for me because we've already touched on this. You know, the way that they ended the spring split was really uplifting and very positive. They were thorn in many teams' side. So let's see what they're going to do today. The draft, a little bit more complicated to play, and the analyst desk was talking about it. Ender, you were talking about it as well. The differences in the impact between Lurox and Inspired, and now their champion differences as well in the draft. It's not been made easy for Lurox.
No, it is not an easy game at all here, and Like, I sort of question what he can actually do, because again, don't think there's a lot of great lanes for him to gank for. And this week one for Schalke is one that sort of defines the entire split, because they started off a game against Vitality. Then yesterday, of course, they had their match against SK. These two teams that were very low with them in the standings that they had passed by the end of spring. And clearly, they are underneath them now. And now against Rogue, who've looked so good, it's not going to be easy.
Medic said it yesterday, a sixth of the entire split is this weekend, 3 out of the 18 games. Quick update for everybody. As you can see, we are not in game just yet. Unfortunately, one of the players has had a problem connecting to the server, so we are busy triaging that and working through it. So it gives us a lot more time to talk about the teams on the Rift, the champions as well. And we still got ourselves 4 games to play before we round out Super Week. I saw a few messages on socials. Week 1 and Week 8 of the regular season will be 3-day weeks. And we do have a break week after 4 weeks of the season. Go check out lolesports.com. I realized I got way too complicated. I don't have a graphic for this. But yeah, these this week and then the last week of the splits will have 3 days of games. I can see the players jumping back into the lobby. So hopefully we'll be able to rush through the draft and get ourselves in here. Which player do you need to see perform on Schalke's side? Does it have to be Lurox to make this Larssen work, or can he just hope that his laner survive?
I mean, honestly, I'm not going to put the faith.
Now we are just a few moments away from Rogue versus Schalke 04, so let's head back over to QuickShot and Ender.
And welcome back to the caster desk and Schalke 04 taking on Rogue. Thank you for your patience with us during that pause, and thank you to the analyst desk, Euphoria plus Shocks. Very entertaining conversation and definitely a lot of stuff to unpack if we get the time. For now though, let's get back into the game. Drafts you can see on your screen, or comps rather. The overarching thoughts that we had, Ender, was that Lurox's Larssen may have difficulties finding a way to impact this game.
Yeah, sort of looking at what he can do. Like, bot lane's not super gankable. Mid lane, you know, when Larssen's rocking the cleanse, isn't going to be very easy either. So if I was to pinpoint any location on the map where he could try to visit, it would be around that top lane. But again, going to be very difficult for him to get much done here, especially if Inspired is tracking him well inside of the jungle.
And of course, Inspired has performed very, very well. A little while ago, the analyst has talked about Lurox versus Inspired as one of the focal points of this game. We were very impressed with what Inspired has been able to do to help Rogue pick up their 2 wins. And obviously, Finn playing this Gangplank, Draco's felt emboldened about how powerful he is, especially against the likes of Aphelios plus combo with the Jarvan. So we can see him trading now.
Yeah, because I love how he's playing this early game already. On the GP, you want to trade hard right at the start of the game. Your passive burn gives you so much damage. You can spam with the Qs as well. You can see him trading really aggressively into this Ornn, and you want to do this because if you don't really trade against the Ornn, then he just sort of builds his item in lane and can sort of destroy you. And now with Finn's passive back up again, he's just sort of denying Odoamne of getting towards this lane at all. He's trading straight into his face right now.
All right, so the first minion wave, 1 CS picked up. Finn just wants to continue the duel. Manages to throw out yet another parlay, starting to walk back. Now, he is losing some CS as well, though.
Yeah, but the thing is, the wave is pushing towards Finn's side of the map. Look at all those ranged minions right there. There's a ton, of course, that you know, Odoamne has pushing towards Finn's side of the map, and Odo being very low means that once Finn hits this level 2, he can look to now zone away with those barrels as well.
And it makes it even more difficult for Odo. Inspired is not currently in the top half of the map, but if this wave continues to push towards Finn, more options for Rogue.
Yeah, because the thing is, he can just sort of stand in front of his own minion lines as he lands the E now.
Ooh, flash for flash. I think the auto didn't connect, and Odo escapes this life.
Yeah, so the auto attack did connect there onto Odo, but because Odo followed or matched the flash, there wasn't the Q matched the flash. There wasn't the Q able to get out there from Finn. So it was very nearly a kill. But as you can see, again, it's still 4 ranged minions, and Odoamne has to teleport back in towards this top side of the map. Now, with flashes going down, it's important to actually look at what these junglers are doing, because right now, both junglers are on the top side of the map, but Inspired is pathing away, and with this wave stacking up, which was, you know, this big advantage for Finn. You know, if he's able to keep it on his side of the map, it's hard for Odoamne to actually farm it. It's possible now that Lurox tries to look for a dive when that next minion wave sort of pairs up and crashes into this tower.
Okay, watching the mini-map, Lurox hasn't made the move just yet. While that's going on, Inspired is currently down in the bottom river. They've both just picked up respective scuttle crabs, and that minion wave, I'm watching a conga line towards Finn. A little low on mana as well, but he's got a powder keg set up to try clear the wave if he's under threat.
Yeah, but look at this too. Because of that push in the middle lane, you're now seeing this roam come up from Abbedagge in towards the top lane. There's a huge minion wave here, and neither Inspired or Larssen can try to respond against this.
All right, so exactly as you set this up, and Finn is in trouble. Teleport is coming down, though. That is going to be Hans Summer. I think actually, was it interrupted? I think it may have been while that's going on. Finn is able to escape with his life. Inspire's now in the bottom lane. Hans Summer and Vander going to try to put the damage down to Innaxe. He goes down to 50 HP, stays alive. Can he dodge any of the follow-up skill shots? Inspired really wants to chase this one. The flash from Nukes to save Innaxe's life, and he gets away unscathed.
I mean, Schalke lose so much off of that trade. All their summoner spells down in the bottom side, and Inspired is still here to try and zone them away from the tower and deny those minions. And it seems like miscommunication on the side of Schalke, because if Innaxe and Nukes think they can go and interrupt that play down bot side, they go for the dive.
Well, remember Finn playing aggressively and losing his flash earlier? Makes him a juicy target for Lurox. The tower dive didn't work out, but the follow-up does, and Schalke pick up first blood.
Yeah, the follow-up is good right there, but I think we need to go back to that initial play because, again, that dive gets called off when they see the TP coming through, but Innaxe and Nukes aren't able to communicate quickly enough, hey, we can actually stop the TP. So that could have potentially been a second death going on to Finn to punish him for going for that early play, and it's these types of moves the O2 team needs to start making in order to climb their way back up.
On the bright side, though, early response to Finn's control of the lane, setting up the wave, Lurox reading it effectively. It is a step in the right direction here for Schalke, but now we need to see it continue because even with first blood gold, Rogue are still in the advantage. They're even at the moment. 40 CS for Hans Summer, Innaxe on 24. And Finn just marginally behind. Those mid laners, we haven't seen too much other than Abbedagge pushing and roaming for now. And we can see Abbedagge, again, just constantly pushing into Larssen.
Yeah, it's really easy for Zoe to get wave control in this matchup. Because her Q is such long range, Orianna can't really match the poke against her, and Abbedagge can charge it from so far back, walk up to the wave for half a second, take those minions down to half HP, and then walk away. He also gets redemption sometimes, which helps with the wave.
Literally feels bad, man. Random redemption in lane keeps Abbedagge topped up, but look at Inspired. He's waiting around. No flash for either bot laner on Schalke's side. Innaxe is going to be able to put some damage down. Hans Summer's chunked, and a polymorphed Inspired is then sent packing. Lurox is here now, but they can't continue.
Yeah, so that is a good read from Lurox, you know, probably getting called down there, seeing Schalke's lane is pushing away from them to try and match that and make sure they can bounce that in towards the tower. But the thing I'm going to be looking at is in the next 30 seconds, Finn should be taking over towards level 6, and that means those bot lane plays against a flashless, you know, Lulu and Aphelios are going to be deadly. We actually heard Draco's talking about it on the analyst desk during our extended break, that Gangplank is a super good answer into Aphelios, because, you know, he just gets slowed down from a mile away, and you can't really itemize against it. It's not like a QSS can save you from a Gangplank ult, and that makes it very hard to escape.
Yeah, Inspired is nearly level 6 as well. Cataclysm on top of any potential follow-up. Innaxe and Nukes flash cooldowns 2/3 of the way towards being available. And the Ocean Dragon will get picked up here by Lurox. Hans Summer trying to make his way towards the river, but is zoned out by Innaxe as well as Nukes. And Inspired now starting to push up. The flash photo will be up in just a moment or two. Both top laners have hit 6. And Finn, now down in CS after those opening few minutes of play, playing so far forward, ends up being the one that's marginally behind right now.
Yeah, he has to play off of this Ornn's W being off cooldown. There's 3 seconds till it comes back up, so unless he was to pull the trigger right now, I think it's very easy for Odo to react with the W and then E away.
Well, for this time round, Odo just gets caught out, manages to knock himself into the wall, but...
Yeah, the key difference there is Odo leads with a trade in the W. You can't run away from that one whatsoever, and the flash just comes up. And that's a good punish there from Inspired, who now gets to walk freely into that topside jungle. So a little bit interesting to see him forget about the bot lane for the moment. He knew Lurox was down around that side of the map, hearing the dragon go down, of course, so is able then to make that play happen topside.
Yeah, and of course, Hans Summer and Vander doing fairly well in this matchup. somewhat out farming. Obviously, there's been some skirmishes and visits from other team members, but Rogue, even on gold, even on kills, Schalke have got themselves the dragon, and it looks as though lane swap is on the cards. 8 minutes. Lurox is already up towards the Rift Herald. Let's see if they're going to make a concerted effort for this.
Yeah, now remember again, the TPs for both top laners are going to be down, but... Oh, actually, Finn also used the Cannon Barrage. So it's actually going to be Odoamne in about a minute's time who will be able to react with something up around the top lane. So Schalke's best play here, I feel like, is try and wait a little bit, try to get that ability to come on back here, unless they can work with Abbedagge's mid lane priority. If he pushes that wave in, they can also try to move that one up.
Yeah, we haven't looked at the mid lane all too much, other than Abbedagge's roam. They're even on CS, they're just farming their way up, waiting to find some impact elsewhere in the game, and Schalke, they've got a somewhat numbers advantage toward the top lane. You can see Lurox pushing into the enemy jungle, and Inspired is up in the top lane as well.
Yeah.
So some shenanigans afoot.
It's also classic Inspired to just go hide in side lane brushes now, as Lurox is the one who is trying to find an angle there, but will end up backing away. And as you can see, Odoamne's teleport coming up. Let me get the 40 seconds away. So once that one's up, I think as the blue side team here, it's way easier to enter in towards that Rift Herald pit. I think Schalke should get this one pretty easily.
Does it feel like they're taking a lot of time to kind of set this one up, or they're just waiting for the waves?
They're just waiting for the teleports and the waves, right? Because as soon as you can guarantee you have a numbers advantage, which they're going to be able to know they have a very, very soon, well, then it comes foolish for Rogue to try and contest them here.
Well, Rogue are going to clear out the wards. There's no movement from Larssen. Inspired's going to step forward, and Schalke Demacian stand forward if he wants to. Prowling projectile
10 seconds away from teleport.
Some time. Rift Herald goes low. Schalke are nervous. Schalke are scared. True Shot Barrage will go out. Rogue have been literally able to brute force their way forward. The Rift Herald is taken out, and the Shockwave does some damage to Lurox. There's the teleport coming down from Odoamne. There's no Cannon Barrage. There's no reply from Finn, and the Call of the Forge Guard will just be sidestepped. Flash away from Hansama. They manage to get the kill, and exactly as you said, numbers advantage in using the TP.
Yeah, I feel like Schalke were just a couple seconds early on that one. Would have allowed Odo to come in sooner with the teleport, but they do get the kill, and also Lurox lands the smite. I think he actually went for a ward hop there to make sure he could pop the eye right there and combo that one down with the smite. So very good stuff from him, although I have to say I'm a little surprised not to see him drop the Herald here with a big wave stacking in towards the top, knowing Inspired could not be around to try and protect here. They may have been able to deny some minions.
Well, with all of the discussion from Draft on this Lee Sin, and the impetus that he had to find a way into the game, 2-0 for Lurox. Rogue are still farming up a storm.
Yes.
Cannot deny they're scaling on their side, but there are significant signs of life here from Schalke.
Yeah, I do think we do have to give props to Lurox, because this was not going to be an easy game to play. And the pivotal moment actually was Finn going very aggressive in the top lane. And that, in a lot of times, is going to be great, right? He was winning that matchup very well for himself. But the difference was his jungler was playing towards the bottom side of the map. So even though he thinks he's trading up, the fact that Lurox can easily visit that top lane and Abbedagge has such an easy time controlling that mid lane wave made it one of those moments where Finn is trying to be the hero, trying to get that solo kill. He was just 1 Q away, half a second, and he does get that one, but ends up being punished for it because the team did not have that in mind.
Now, the team does have it in mind because TP and Cannon Barrage is up. So,
sure.
For that previous Rift Herald play, wasn't available. Really good, coordination on the Schalke side. And Lurox is going to make his way to the top lane. Still got that Rift Herald in the inventory, and Innaxe will get some damage down, but there's enough defensive options from Rogue. And remember, Cannon Barrage and TP is a moment's notice away if Schalke are thinking about anything.
Yeah, but this is why I was thinking, hey, maybe you want to place the Herald sooner, because you did use that TP. Now, Abbedagge, who has the Unsealed Spellbook, but his main summoner spell is going to be the Flash and the Teleport, did use that to work in towards mid, and I was thinking maybe they try to go back towards topside, but instead, with the Infernal Drake spawning, he's going to be running down towards bottom lane. He's going to try to use this really thick wall to land a Miracle Bubble.
Okay, Finn's going to be able to back away for now. A lot of damage from the paddle start. Sleepy Trouble Bubble will be eaten in Origin. It's okay. Finn now has to get away from Call of the Forge God and forced to flash. Abbedagge can consider a chase, decides against it.
Yeah, so let's talk about that for a second, because in most cases you're going to see Zoe lead with the bubble there, but of course she's playing against the Gangplank, so you don't want to lead with the CC. You want to try and hit him, surprise him with that paddle star from far away, but I think Abbedagge had also picked up an Ignite, so he made sure the orange was not going to heal for full by placing that Grievous Wounds. Now the Herald will go down in towards the bottom lane, and Ornn, he gets some money. That's all right. That turret's going to go down and set themselves themselves up to continue play.
I mean, Odoamne is so happy right now. Got a CS advantage, got a Sunfire cape completed, Tower first blood gold as well. And, you know, just has had the support from Lurox as well as now Abbedagge to get ahead of Finn.
I still reserve the right to say I would prefer to have that money on Innaxe
Absolutely.
2 minutes ago. But it ends up working out for Schalke still.
Well, Finn is going to pick a fight for now. Continues chasing down. No flash for Odoamne. I think this is going to be a long chase. There's no support for Rogue anywhere else in that quadrant of the map, so Finn's going to back out. And Schalke have got themselves a 1,000 gold lead. They've got themselves the first out. They've got 2 dragons. I was actually not prepared for what I'm seeing, and this is really good. It shows an ability to bounce back from 2 very difficult days.
Yeah, I do like the early game a lot so far in this game. While a lot of the conversation has revolved around Lurox, I think Abbedagge vacating his middle lane has been a big deal in trying to punish Finn a lot and knock him down, you know, 20, 25 CS at this point in the game already. Now, the bad news for Schalke is that I think they rolled probably the worst possible soul for their composition with the Mountain Soul coming on through here, because let's face it, none of these guys are building tank stats, so all they're going to be doing is multiplying the base resistances they have on the kit, and it's really just Odo that's going to be happy with that one.
He's the one that is currently the happiest in the game. We've actually not spoken about the duo lanes for a little while. Innaxe and Nukes have really been farming catching waves along with Hans Summer and Vander, but Hans Summer is still 30 CS up, 1.5 items for the time being. Edge was just completed for Innaxe. You know, what are anticipations for how and when these guys are going to start getting involved? There's only 1 tower down, so it's still a little any face.
Yeah, I mean, Innaxe, you hate to say it, but it's jungle diff this game. But it's not that Lurox is playing a bad game, it's just Lurox played for top lane and Inspired played for bot lane. So Innaxe has not had an easy time losing his summoner spells very early into the game, and I think this is very bad for Schalke compositionally, because when you're talking about it in the pregame, like, Innaxe is the focal point of this comp. He's the guy that needs to be dishing out the damage for his team, and if Ezreal is hitting 2 items faster than him, 3 items faster than him, then all of a sudden he just won't be able to carry that amount of weight that he needs to be.
Yeah, definitely the case. There is support now coming to the top lane for Innaxe and Nukes. Inspired was able to flag and drag over the wall, despite the fact Lurox followed him with the resonating strike, and Hans Summer's been able to defend this tower, hold on to it for a while down in the bottom lane. Odo continues to push. Trinity Force now picked up for Finn, and 2 minutes till the next Drake. So both of these both of these teams just looking for opportunities, and Lurox very extended here as Abbedagge comes to back him up.
It's actually a really interesting point in the game. I feel like if you actually just look at the vision in the map, because both teams have wards inside their opponent's jungle. They just haven't been clearing anything whatsoever. So everyone pretty much knows what's happening, and a play should be hard to make, but thanks to Yuumi plus Jarvan, we'll be able to force the flash from Abba.
The flash comes out, and now Odoamne wants to counter-engage. Pull the Forge God's very good. Lurox manages to get the kick flash, and there's an escape already. The shutdown thanks to the shockwave, and Inspired manages to make his way out. Larssen continues to chase down Odoamne. The battle starts just simply not going to get through the command protect. Odo goes low, below 100. That's a double kill for Larssen. Here comes Inspired. Cataclysm goes down. Portal jump goes out. That's a triple for Larssen and Rogue.
Insane right there. I mean, Lurox gets super hyphy underneath the tower, and Larssen says, get on back here. Brings him right back underneath the tower. Gets a triple kill and a mid lane turret off of that play, and all the forward momentum that Schalke had has instantly been shut down by Larssen.
And it was Schalke that started that fight. The counter-engage, correction, continued that fight would actually be a better way of saying it. They are able to pick up a tower top, but Rogue managed to get themselves a tower down bottom.
Yeah, and just watch at the start of this play, right? Because of course, you get the flash out of Abbedagge, you're like, yeah, that's great news. But with the priority coming out of the bottom lane, now this Ornn has already made it up. He's ready to drop down the ultimate, and then as Lurox goes for this flash kick onto Inspired, notice how Abbedagge is not ready immediately with the Paddle Star. So Inspired drops the CC and can flash away. Now Lurox is dead. If the Paddle Star comes in sooner, it's more realistic that they could trade kills, but now Odo has come in to try and save the day. He's too far, there's still an exhaust. Abbedagge, who just lost his flash at the start of that play, has nowhere to go and can just try to hop around a bit before immediately falling.
Man, fantastic play in that Cataclysm. So valuable valuable once you get somebody locked inside against this team composition. Rogue now 1,000 gold up. The Mountain Drake has spawned, and they're repositioning to potentially contest.
Yeah, and right now, Rogue have the items, right? Hansama went for the faster spiking Iceborne Gauntlet. Larssen goes very wide on that Shockwave there. That could prove pivotal in this fight because Larssen, 3 kills, the finish Seraph's Embrace is strong.
Even bigger, no Cataclysm yet, no Cannon Barrage, no True Shot Barrage. There needs to be some more time on Rogue's side if they want to pick this fight. Moonlight Vigil and Call of the Forge God currently on cooldown on Schalke's side, and we've got ourselves a standoff here in the river. The Prowling Projectiles and the poke from Rogue are being thrown out, and Hansama will be able to escape for now. Schalke will push Rogue back. It felt like Rogue just wanted to get mid-control. So much damage onto Hansama.
Mikhail's Crucible. Yeah,
exactly
it's
like
over.
you said.
Mikhail's Crucible. Yeah,
exactly
it's
like
over.
you said,
Like,
Ed.
Rogue have now hard countered Zoe with their items because you have Mikhail's Crucible on your support, and now Larssen has the Seraphs to soak up all that damage too, and the cleanse on top of that. So this is going to be their fight for them. Larssen's ult up very soon.
Yes, definitely. True Shot Barrage has already flown through the pit. Now here comes Odoamne, chucks out the goat, won't be able to find the knockup. Inside the pit, finds Inspired, he's kicked out by Lurox. The Smite fight is won by Schalke, Dragon number 3. Odoamne gets some damage, the Shockwave is decent from Larssen, but Hansama needs to do more. Innaxe tries to do it, he can't find the kill. Larssen takes him down. So far, it's a 1-for-1. The fight continues as Odoamne is forced to dash to safety. Lurox is looking for the Sonic Wave. There's a lot of damage coming forward from Hansama and Larssen. Larssen starts to back away, and Finn does as well. Dragon goes to Schalke, 1-to-1 kills.
Okay, so a lot of things just happened there. Lurox comes up clutch on the Smite in this one, and right at the start, like, Rogue are trying to stall out, but Hansama very low off the bat, doesn't have any lifesteal built up just yet, so they're kind of scattered at the start as Inspired just tries to tease his way into this pit to try and steal it away. So Rogue aren't really going for a team fight at this point. Inspired is kind of sacrificing himself, jumping on in here, but then Innaxe, this is the problem when he is set behind. He just does no damage. Hansama lives through all of it, even with Red Gun, White Gun, which is the best DPS combo you can have for single targets on the champion. He isn't quite able to cut on through it, and Rogue are able to trade a kill.
Oh man, so Innaxe needs some more time, needs some more items. You can see throughout the course of that team fight, despite dealing 2,400, Larssen's Shockwave and command attacks really did a lot at dissuading any further follow-up. And Rogue, now 1,000 gold up.
All right, junglers. Good job.
I mean, they were focused on the dragon. They were focused on the dragon, to be fair.
So pathetic.
But that's basically the job, though, isn't it? Put a Cataclysm down and get a kick in the right place and let everyone else do the work. Well, that's not fair. Let everyone else finish the work. Finish the work is a better thing to say, I think.
I think it's like they're doing a different project entirely, you know?
Do you think Rogue should have tried to focus the fight instead of the dragon? Because, like, you talked about how Mountain Soul is not hugely impactful.
Yeah. So I actually don't think they were in a great position right at the start of the fight because of the cooldowns that they were sort of waiting to get back up, and because Ezreal was quite low. So Ezreal would prefer to take that fight a little bit slower towards the start, and that's how you saw with the GP2. It turned around over the course of that one for them. So I think in these next fights, you know, assuming you don't get chunked out, now Larssen has his second item, should have the ultimate coming into the fight. They can go whenever they want, but that one, it was a little bit more difficult to navigate.
Okay, definitely. Let's talk itemization. It has been a topic of debate,
Sure.
especially on the Schalke side. Runar's Hurricane was just picked up by Innaxe. Odo got himself 2 defensive items. Black Cleaver for Lurox. I mean, I'm not seeing anything too oddball here. Leandri's Torment following up the Archangels for Larssen. Anything to call out that you dislike yet, Mr. Frierson?
No, honestly, I think everything is really fine here. The one thing I do find a little bit odd is actually the Mikhail's for Nukes, because there's really just one big CC you can interrupt with that, and that's going to be the ultimate coming in from Vander. Of course, you can try to use it to remove some of the slows coming by too, but that is a little bit odd to me. I think I would prefer to see him go all aboard, you know, really buffing up Innaxe here with like Ardent Sense or Redemption, etc. Especially when you consider all the AoE damage coming through, Redemption would have a really high value in this game.
Yeah, especially when we've seen multiple team fights really take a long time to conclude with the way that this is playing out. Rogue, though, despite falling a little bit behind early, they found their way back through some crucial skirmishes and through fights. The thing that they do have to be a little nervous about is maybe the Mountain Soul not the scariest, but it's not too long from a potential Elder. You know, a minute and a half to Soul if Schalke are on that one as they have been all previous Dragons. That could be one of the ways that they can try to unlock this victory as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely what they're going to have to be eyeing, right? Because you look at these comps, it's like, how do we actually match up against them in the 5v5? It's not the easiest thing to do. And again, the big difference there is going to be comparing like mid lane and jungle champions across the board, where I think Rogue have a very straightforward approach. Abbedagge going to struggle to find, you know, the bubbles and the poke in an extended fight that he would rather take, where he's playing around specific skill shots, and Rogue, with their hard engage, are not going to want to give him that opportunity. And, I mean, I think you just sort of dump everything onto Inspired at the start of the fight. Like, Yuumi's going to be piggybacking on him, Orianna's going to throw the ball on his head, and he's just going to try to find whoever doesn't have flash. Right now, that's Innaxe, but luckily for him, for that Mountain Drake to spawn, that should be coming up very soon. Yeah, his flash will be up right at the same time that the Drake spawns.
30-second timer. Rogue are pushing out the mid lane. You can see the vision from Schalke, thank you, observers, highlighting the amount of darkness that they have to fight their way through. The control ward in the river is quite valuable because I think Rogue are just waiting in the wings there, and by the powers of deduction, they can figure that one out. So the control ward from Rogue skipped a step, didn't check all the bushes.
Sure.
And that means that Rogue's gambit, their wait and pray maneuver, did not pay off.
Yeah, so Abbedagge's poke is landing, but there is a Yuumi to soak that up and make it really hard. And now, with the mountain map, that big, you know, sort of wall right inside the choke point right there, makes it really hard to approach in.
Oh, Sleepy Trouble Bubble will tag Hansama. It's going to be able to escape. Moonlight Vigil is wasted. That did not find a target right between the uprights as the poke continues to be thrown out. It feels like this will benefit Rogue. They've got the ability to continually reposition and keep spamming out that damage.
Yeah, Larssen would love to be able to walk over there and put the ball to sort of zone them away from the pit, but he's playing very passively at the moment. Now you see him place that one up as Rogue have sort of pulled this Mountain Drake towards the bottom side of the pit. This is a great setup from Rogue.
It absolutely is. Does Lurox fancy himself a steal? Call the Forge God comes out as the engaged tool, multiple knockouts, 1100 HP on the Dragon. He's inside the pit. It's picked up by Rogue, and that was a fantastic shockwave. Rogue, although turning it around, there's so much damage on the Schalke. Trading kills back and forth. Hansama's going to clean up house, and Finn will finalize the ace. For a brief moment, I thought Rogue were in trouble, and I could not have been more wrong. Schalke get destroyed.
Larssen just ruined Schalke's day right there. Was that 4 people caught in that one? They just all funneled up. That's what my eye was on coming into that fight. And the way they pulled the Drake down made it so that Rogue, or Schalke rather, if they were going to fight them, had to walk straight across that Orianna ball and got absolutely railed right there. Let's see this one more time. Again, that ball that's placed in that choke here as Abbedagge and the rest of the team are going to walk forward. He replaces it and then moves it. Oh
my word.
That was 75% of Innaxe and Nukes' health bar. And yeah, sure, they kill Larssen, but Hansama goes untouched and can just find, you know, 1v1s scattered across as everyone on Schalke tried to split.
As soon as that shockwave went down, Innaxe managed to get the AoE damage onto Rogue, and Schalke Rogue just turned onto him in a heartbeat. He still dealt 3,000 damage, but look at that from Larssen.
Yeah, Larssen, absolute MVP of that fight. Now, I do have to say some commiserations because coming into this game, Inspired, Larssen, and Vander had died 0 times combined. Inspired has died a couple times this game. Larssen traded his life to find that insane shotgun, or shockwave rather. So it's only Vander who's deathless here on the Yuumi still.
The unkilled support. Rogue, 4,000 gold up. Baron buff as well. They've stopped the Mountain Soul, and they've now got themselves control of this game. Look at the stack in the bottom lane. Odo can do nothing but watch yet another tower fall, and Schalke, they are now with their backs against the wall.
It's just pretty unbeatable now for Schalke because Rogue can drop down the ball and then zone you away from the tower, or use the cannon barrage if you want to finish that off and go for an inhibitor. Right now they are split up 4-1 at the moment, and Abbedagge will try to land bubbles, but again, McHale's and orange, everything, it's just not going to do anything.
No, definitely not. Vander sat on the McHale's, didn't need it. The arcane shift from Hansama pushed him to safety. They won't be able to open up the inhibitor turret, but they will be able to secure the mid-outer. Now, the top outer is the only one left standing, and Rogue are going to have to catch the top lane wave, and it looks like that's what Finn is doing right now.
Hansama's now got himself a Death Dance. Inspired's got the Stone Plate. This is probably, like, relative power-wise to Schalke, they are really, really insanely ahead. at this given moment. And, you know, Schalke, because they weren't able to finish off the last Mountain Drake, even though the Soul, I don't think was going to change the outcome of the game, their only real chance, as you brought up, was like, could you steal, you know, the Elder Dragon? Because Elder Dragon is like the one buff that can change the landscape of a team fight, especially when you have a pick like the Aphelios next to you. But unfortunately for Innaxe, he's just been way behind this entire game.
Yeah, hasn't been able to really dig himself out of the hole that, frankly, Inspired put him in. You know, Inspired, as you mentioned, spent a fair amount of time down in that bottom lane and managed to get Hansama and Vander ahead. Hansama and Vander, another fantastic performance, opening up the summer split. And now Rogue, they're just going to try to push this one out. Last tower on the outside remaining. You have to anticipate probably one more Baron and then try to look for the inhibitors unless they can catch Schalke out.
Yeah, and this has sort of been the standard of Rogue's play so far this split. You know, first Baron to clear out all the towers, second Baron to put the final nail in the coffin. They're taking things quite slowly, you know, methodically, making sure they don't really risk anything too much. And in the meta that has sort of slowed down a bit with a comp like this, where you know Schalke are just going to continue to fall further and further behind, Rogue are just going to do this by the books.
Yeah, and you can't blame them. The way Schalke started this game surprised a few people, probably maybe Rogue a little bit as well. And
yeah,
you have to pay respect because there is still the capability to get chunked out. If you are not grouped up, if you don't have the right numbers of people, but it's very difficult. Schalke are going to need to find multiple mistakes from Rogue, punish them, maybe try find a Baron into this game, and maybe they just have to force a fight, land a magical paddle star in the Baron pit.
I mean,
it just feels inevitable, you know?
No, I mean, it really is. And you look at the different pieces on Schalke's team. You have good scaling, right? You have Ornn, you know, dishing out items. You got an Aphelios with Lulu to buff him up. But the cohesiveness of that team composition stacked against what Rogue have built, which is just 5 champions that are sort of like knitted together, made for each other, along with solid performance over the last 20 or so minutes, Rogue are almost destined to win this one.
Yeah, they're going to be able to push into the mid inhibitor now. Get a little bit of damage down. It's going to be a dash forward onto Lurox, and the tower is just about to fall. By the way, Abbedagge is still in the top lane. Before the Forge God comes out, yes, it tags Larssen, but that's one of the most pivotal tools in Schalke's arsenal, not available for a potential dragon fight. And they don't get the tower, but they do at least get that, you know, control.
I mean, at this point in the game, Ornn ult is low enough cooldown that he's just trying to zone them off the tower because Abbedagge was trying to clear an extra wave in the top side. But Schalke were probably expecting Rogue to go back for the Mountain Drake. Instead, they're still here to finish the tower. Yeah,
definitely. And they managed to escape every single skill shot Schalke fired at them. A lot of damage lands onto Finn there, but now the base is open. Hansama throws his True Shot Barrage down, and just following those Sleepy Trouble bubbles. They are not having any influence or impact at all. The dragon is just about to fall, I think, as Inspired will finally take that one down. 2 mountains to Rogue. 7,000 gold lead. And look, I'm happy to see Schalke fighting in the early game. I'm happy to see them with a little bit more zest in their step. But I'm more impressed with what I've seen from Rogue over the last 3 games. And the bigger takeaway on the verge of the 3-0 debut to the summer split.
Yeah, no, I love what I'm seeing from Rogue, you know. I think, you know, consistently Inspired just had very good early game performances. Even if this one, he wasn't like getting a ton of kills, you know, he created a lot of pressure around that bottom side and, you know, made sure Innaxe was set behind, which is exactly what Rogue needed to beat the Schalke composition. Because at the end of the day, they don't really care if Ornn gets gold. You know, Ornn got a Rift Herald. Ornn gets gold. You know, Ornn got a Rift Herald donated to him. He got the kill and the dive up top side. But we're at a point now where Finn is still out CSing him because that's just how the game is played.
Yeah, now we're going to see Larssen chasing. Goes down the cleanse. Cannon Barrage to help out as well. Shockwave
auto attack him.
Not yet fired. Larssen held on to that one. Now Odoamne, he actually TP'd in behind Larssen. Larssen will get support from Hansama and Finn. Still holding on to that shockwave. Larssen hasn't fired it yet. Hansama will look to finish off the kill. Wild Growth used to keep Odoamne alive. Lurox running for his life. Odoamne, yes, you're standing, but for how much longer? Here comes Inspired. Now Odoamne is going to go low. Larssen still untouched. Damage onto Hansama. He stays alive thanks to the support from Vander. Nukes is forced to flash defensively as the Sleepy Trouble bubble will find one. Mikhails is on cooldown and Innaxe, despite the Moonlight Vigil, it's not doing anything. He's zoned away by Finn, and Hansama is picking and choosing the Schalke members he wants to kill. Innaxe is left alone and will be cut down eventually. Let's see how much damage you can put out.
Yeah, just wait till Hansama lands 1Q and it's all over.
Yeah, definitely. Hansama.
Wait!
That's a lot of damage. It's not done yet. I wrote a death warrant, but he's still alive. Innaxe is looking to get a second. He gets a double kill. The lifesteal, the death stars. What is happening?
What?
Innaxe is turning around to Hansama. Here comes Nukes. That is incredible. Innaxe, I was convinced you were done. I stopped shoutcasting. Death Dance,
200 years!
Molten Edge, and Runon's Hurricane. 3 items.
I can't. What is that?
How? What?
I
What just
mean,
happened?
Like, here's the deal, guys. Abbedagge gets caught. It's looking real desperate for Schalke. You know, he's just trying to get a base off here when Larssen scouts him out. And the recall, of course, does get interrupted. And looks like, wait, if Schalke can convert this into a Baron, this is even bigger than I initially thought, because Schalke do so much in here, you know, teleporting into the back line, but I feel like there's more going on in the fight at hand.
Yeah, there absolutely is. It's a fight on multiple fronts. Okay, so the picture-in-picture live has now ended. Now, frankly, all of the setup is not the most interesting thing that's about to happen. We have to follow Innaxe.
So right at the start, he has red gun and blue gun. Blue gun gives him a lot of AoE. The red, good for single target and that lifesteal, and then switches over to the white. So this is what gives him so much DPS onto single targets. You know, he plays the start of it well, misses the ultimate on that one. And we wait. Come on, guys, get on over here. It'll be fun. I trust you. You know, 4v1, you usually win these if you are rogue and have like a 10k gold lead, but Innaxe says no. He's got a red buff and whatnot, so he drops a turret that gets destroyed, I believe, and then just sustains through everything. And because he has the Death Stance, all the burst damage that was supposed to come through right at the start doesn't end up happening. And with the Calibrum, he gets the long-range auto, which again sustains him. Otherwise, Death Stance is going to tick him down. Now Nukes can come in towards the back here, and at that point, Hansama's just lost.
I now can visualize what 1v9 actually means, right? Like
I said this in draft though, right?
You
I was like,
100%
the only
did.
chance Schalke have in the late game is Innaxe literal 1v9.
Ender, look at that graphic. 10,000 damage dealt to champions. That is mind-boggling. But the thing is...
That's not a team fight either. That's actual just 1v4.
Schalke are still down 7,000 gold. They tried to make an attempt at Baron. It was interrupted. 30 seconds until the next dragon. Crucially, Innaxe has just picked himself up a rapid-fire cannon. That's 4 items now. But can he find yet another perfect team fight? That will be the question. Rogue are paying him a little bit more respect. They're not pushing to the river
Here's
just
the
yet.
important thing, though. Mountain Drake spawning in 20 seconds. I think Schalke are just going to throw it all around this fight. Innaxe doesn't have flash, and he's against Jarvan Orianna, and an Orianna with 4 full items.
Okay, so if the shockwave lands, this dance can only do so much. Abbedagge continues to fire out those paddle
Shield
stars.
on him, though.
He's absolutely massive. Innaxe is still stepping forward. He's trying to chase down Hansapa. The final still stepping forward. He's trying to chase down Hansapa. The final chapter has come out. There's the engage from Odo. He manages to get a knockup onto Inspired. That's a kickback. No, it's Larssen, in fact, that gets tagged. Shockwave only catches Odo. It doesn't matter. But Innaxe is being focused down. But who's doing the focusing? That's already a kill.
What?
1 for 1. Innaxe stays alive. He's turning onto Hansapa, but he can't burn through more. There was enough members of Rogue this time to cut him down. It's a 1 for 2. And Rogue are going to set themselves up for the dragon.
Yeah, and if Schalke stick around here, Hansama strong enough to be able to jump over the wall with the Yuumi alongside him. So Lurox is still going to try and go for the steal. The soul would be big, but if he dies, that's an immediate Baron.
All-Star goes in. That was very, very close. And Rogue are able to sneak, secure, finalize the 3rd dragon of the game. I mean, this is just the Innaxe show. It is just the Innaxe show. You said 1v9, you said he had to put all of Schalke on his back, and he is certainly trying.
It's so close, and it's such a weird game too, because Rogue were completely in the driver's seat, decided to take it a little bit slow with the first Baron buff. You know, they weren't even able to knock down a single inhibitor, but they said, hey, it's fine, we'll get the second one and then close out, and they are still on pace to be able to do that. But importantly for Schalke fans out there, Flash returning for upset. That is massive for him, and very likely going to be itemizing into a Bloodthirster on top of it. So I mean, like he's gonna have the shielding from a Lulu, from Bloodthirster, from Legend Bloodline.
Yeah.
Or Overheal rather, plus Legend Bloodline. He's gonna have it from his red gun as well. Like, what?
Oh my word. But the thing is, you can't 1v5 every single fight.
See, that's what you think, but if Aphelios has more HP via shields than his Ornn, it might be a problem for Rogue.
I mean, it is a problem. We've seen it.
Because here's the thing, right? It's an Ezreal who doesn't have the best like single target damage, especially if Innaxe can block shots or Odoamne can block shots for him. Larssen has a ton of damage up front, but Innaxe can out-sustain it, and that is where the team fight will swing. Sustain it, and that is where the team fight will swing.
All right, let's see what Innaxe can do. Managed to catch out Inspired. He escapes with his life for now, but look at the shockwave. It's flashed away from. Innaxe is going for the win. He manages to get killed to Larssen. He's turned his attention to Finn. The powder cake's aren't enough, but here comes Inspired over the wall. With the help of Finn, they shut him down, and now Rogue are looking to clean up. They've got themselves 3, and Hans Sama is still full HP. Innaxe went for the game-winning play, but he got shut down.
It was so close to winning the 1v1 though, and now Rogue, they've got the power. They're going to be able to march into the base and very likely finish this one off here. It is 30+ seconds until Innaxe returns the Rift, and Hans Sama is going to be unstoppable.
Oh my word, what a game! What a performance in that team fight. 3-item Aphelios. These gentlemen and everybody else. The Baron buff is still going. Abbedagge is trying to clear out these waves as best he can, but Hans Sama and the unkillable
What's that
Vander.
cannon minion doing? Get over here!
By the way, unkillable Vander, 2-0-15. Let's see if he can finish the game unscathed. You have to feel that he will. True Shot Barrage almost takes down Abbedagge. The Nexus turret is about to fall. Odoamne gets cut
Innaxe
down.
is alive.
Now,
it's not over.
okay, but the inhibitor will get taken out. Innaxe is pushing forward, white-blue. White swap there around, puts a turret down, and Hans Sama then wisely starts to back out. The
Finn is teleporting into the top lane.
is thrown down. They're going for 3 inhibitors here, Ender.
Yeah, so Rogue are going to back away from this one for the time being. Finn takes that solo, and the minions may be able to do the trick. They're going to be able to knock it out, and Larssen already running back from the base off the respawn. 30 seconds until Odo comes back. It is about to be a 5v4 inside of the base, and Innaxe does not have the best guns.
No, he doesn't. Innaxe is getting chunked down, though. Mystic Shot after Mystic Shot is landing. The regen is working, though. Innaxe is now starting to get back to full HP, but he needs some more defense in front of him. Lurox tries to put some damage down onto Inspired. It simply doesn't work. Innaxe gets dunked down. He's locked inside. No flash available. The shockwave pulls him back. It's done. It's done. Rogue have shut down Schalke. They were in control most of the game, but it was a dramatic finish. Schalke show they've got some teeth.
Yeah, I mean, Innaxe tried to make that a little spicy there towards the end, but I think at the end of the day, Rogue outdrafted and outplayed in the team fights. Larssen, especially, with some of those insane shockwaves, especially around the Dragon Pits, was an absolute monster. And at the end of the day, that was enough. You know, a couple members on Rogue beat the 1 member on Schalke.
Absolutely. And had, Innaxe been given a little bit more support, had he not been put so far behind, how different could this game have been? Those are the questions Schalke are going to be asking themselves. Look, suggestions or options for key player of the game at LEC on Twitter. Finn, Inspired, and Larssen. The one thing I did like, though, is, again, kind of consistency from Rogue. I think they're playing very cohesively. I think when you look through all 3 of their games, they feel like they are on the same page. They feel like they're making decisions as a unit, and individuals are stepping up. Keep nodding, because you won't get a chance to speak. In a few minutes, Finn will tell us more about this crazy game as Rogue finish the Super Week undefeated and currently in first place.